All right, so much breaking news across the country, including multiple primaries in Minnesota, Wisconsin, Connecticut, and Vermont, along with ongoing congressional investigations into the deep state. We have huge, strong economic numbers to give you tonight and much more. But your mainstream media just can't get enough of Omarosa. For now, the fourth day across all platforms, your Destroy Trump media highlighting what is the salacious claims, untrue accusations, secret recordings from, yes, Omarosa, a person who was fired 3 times from a reality show, and by the way, once from the White House, where she was hired by Donald Trump. And according to General Kelly, because of serious credibility and character issues. That's not brought up very often. And none of this seems to matter to the crisis peddlers 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, minute by minute, hour by hour on so-called news networks. By the way, we're now on hour 72 plus of what is only or can only be described as the Omarosa reality show. Take a look.
Breaking news in our politics lead in the ugly war of words between President Trump and Omarosa NEWMAN.
Omarosa NEWMAN.
Omarosa NEWMAN.
Omarosa NEWMAN.
You had a he said, she said between the president and Omarosa.
Omarosa.
Omarosa. Omarosa.
Omarosa.
Omarosa.
Omarosa.
Omarosa.
Omarosa. Guys, buckle up. Here is just part of my interview with Omarosa NEWMAN.
Omarosa NEWMAN.
Omarosa.
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 Omarosa. Omarosa.
Omarosa. I don't think Omarosa was anywhere near any inner circle of the campaign.
I have to admit, it's a little humorous, but this kind of obsessive anti-Trump coverage, it's nothing new. In fact, this echo chamber, it never stops. It just moves crisis to crisis, second by second, minute by minute, hour by hour, day by day, 24/7, 365. We've got the evidence. Take a look.
Now, they will certainly face questions about Stormy Daniels.
The Stormy saga takes a dramatic turn.
Stormy Daniels is lawyer.
We haven't heard from him about the Stormy Daniels affair.
Adult film star Stormy Daniels breaking her silence about her alleged affair with President Trump.
We're talking, I think, understandably and appropriately about the most serious legal allegations that Stormy Daniels made.
Stormy Daniels.
I am a proud holder.
No, we are not all created equal, at least not if you are born in, as the president put it, a whole country.
The word house instead of whole, as in house countries, not whole countries.
I guess he's a holder.
Is there a difference if the president said whole or house?
Do you think these countries are holes?
Donald Trump has turned the Oval Office into a hole.
Holders built this country 110 years ago.
In addition to the president's comments yesterday.
Now, today is no different. The compulsive coverage just continues during the White House press briefing. And, of course, Press Secretary Sarah Sanders responding to all of this. A pretty powerful rebuttal. Let's take a look.
Unfortunately, the individuals in this room continue to create a large platform for somebody they know not to have a lot of credibility, for someone they frankly refuse to give a platform to when they worked here at the White House. It wasn't until this individual started to negatively attack this president and this administration and try to tear this entire place down that she received the type of platform and rollout that she's getting. I think it would be great if every single person in this room and every single person in the administration never had to talk about this again, and we actually got to focus on the real policies and the real things that not matter just to people in this building, but certainly all Americans, African Americans, Hispanics, and everybody in between. I think that would be the best thing that we could certainly do for our country.
And tonight, our friends at the Media Research Center, they're backing up what you just heard from Sarah Sanders. Their research shows that during their broadcast last night, the morning shows, today, ABC, CBS, NBC, they dedicated approximately 344% more time covering Omarosa than they did covering the firing of FBI agent Peter Strzok. That's more than triple the reporting for salacious rumors over what is serious news about what is a corrupt, high-ranking FBI official fired because of his massive bias and corruption at the heart of everything from Hillary to General Flynn to the beginning of the Russia-Trump hoax. And today, as he often does, the president bypassed the partisan press in the country. He took his message right to you, the American people. He tweeted out, quote, "Fired FBI agent Peter Strzok is a fraud, as is the rigged investigation that he started. There was no collusion or obstruction with Russia, and everybody, including the Democrats, know it. The only collusion and obstruction was by crooked Hillary, the Democrats, the DNC. And tonight, a new report is now bolstering the president's claim. Real Clear investigations. They're showing serious questions now being raised about Fusion GPS founder Glenn Simpson and the shadowy Russian figures who attended the now infamous 2016 Trump Tower meeting. By the way, Robert Mueller, if you're looking for potential Russia collusion, we've got more. It's all right here. And we all know Fusion GPS was employed by the DNC and the Clinton campaign. They paid them ultimately to dig up what ended up being Russian dirt on then candidate Donald Trump. Tonight, there are new concerns over another client of Fusion GPS. Well, that's the Russian lawyer who attended that meeting that everyone's been talking about. She utilized Simpson's services to lobby against Russian sanctions. This plot just keeps thickening. And according to testimony, she had dinner with Simpson both before and after the Trump Tower meeting. Sounds like a setup to me. And because Simpson's relationship with that Kremlin-tied lawyer, a Chicago financier named William Browder, was, quote, so concerned about Fusion GPS's work on behalf of Russian interests that in July of 2016, he actually lodged a complaint with the DOJ. Let me put it simply. Clinton's op research firm, Fusion GPS, was working on behalf of the DNC, Hillary Clinton, and also Russian-backed interests. So that's right. It's all literally represented by the same person, Glenn Simpson. Now, that's exactly as sketchy as it sounds. But where's the hysteria from the media? This is about stealing a presidential election, lying to the American people with phony Russian information that is paid for by the opposition party candidate and then used for a FISA warrant. Where's the special counsel investigation? Oh, it's not really an investigation into collusion now, is it? It's a partisan witch hunt against the president. And frankly, you, the American people, have seen through this and have had enough. Even fake news CNN has a poll that shows, that's right, 2/3 of you, the American people, are now calling for Robert Mueller to wrap this garbage up. And this comes as the trial of the century may soon be coming to an end. After 11 days, the defense rested in the bank and tax fraud case of Paul Manafort from 2005. They didn't bother calling a single witness. Manafort's legal team apparently believes that the special counsel did not meet their burden, the burden of proof. And they may be right. According to analysis from a Northern Virginia criminal defense attorney, T. Mueller was not ready for prime time in Judge Ellis's courtroom. Quote, no matter how strong their evidence, how righteous their cause, how impressive their resumes may be and actually are, they simply have not done a very good job. Well, clearly, Mueller has and was trying to turn the screws on Manafort. As Judge Ellis told us, he never wanted to go to trial. He just wanted Manafort to sing or to compose so that Mueller could give up something or make up something, anything, to then either prosecute or impeach Donald Trump. And despite Team Mueller's poor performance in court, sadly for Manafort, the odds are stacked against him. The vast majority of federal cases result in a guilty verdict, over 90%. This case, for the record, and maybe we'll get even as early as Thursday of this week, a verdict. This case has nothing to do with collusion, nothing to do with Donald Trump, nothing to do with Russia, nothing to do with the election at all. Rod Rosenstein's mandate allowed this. And meanwhile, what do we have? Hillary Clinton committing multiple serious felonies, crimes, mishandling top secret information. She obstructed justice when she deleted, of course, subpoenaed emails, washed her hard drives with bleach bit, washed them away so they can never be found again. Broke up her devices with hammers, fixed and rigged an investigation with Steele's dirty dossier. Remember, that was full of Russian lies, and it was peddled to you, the American people. Why? Because they wanted to misinform you, to steal an election. That's called propaganda, misinformation, outright lying to the American people. And that information was then presented to 4 separate FISA court judges as, quote, credible evidence. Nobody had ever literally verified any of it, corroborated any of it. Nobody's been indicted, investigated by Team Mueller regarding Clinton's dirty Russian dossier. This is a disgrace to America's system of justice. And frankly, if we're going to be blunt and honest here, it is a clear and danger to a clear and present danger to our constitutional republic. Now, make no mistake, Manafort's found guilty, your media will have a brand new obsession. Stormy, 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 blank hole, blank hole, blank hole, Russia, 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 Russia. Oh, and then, of course, Omarosa, Omarosa. And again, we'll be forced to call them out for their shameless, Christless peddling. Yeah, journalism in America is dead. But the real fear ought to be whether or not we have a justice system that applies equal justice under the law, equal application of our laws. This is really about Russia. Why are we dealing with a 2005 tax case not related to the campaign or Russia or Donald Trump at all? Why aren't we investigating the dirty dossier with Russian lies that were peddled to the American people? Why aren't we investigating FISA court judges that were absolutely, a fraud was perpetrated on their courts with Russian lies? What about Adam Schiff, Shifty Schiff, and he's talking to Russians on the phone. We played it for you. And what does he want? Dirt on Donald Trump. And now we got Fusion GPS. Glenn Simpson meeting before and after with the client that met with Don Jr. and company at Trump Tower that the media's made so much of. And also Russia's a client of his also? You got to be kidding me. You couldn't put this in a spy novel and have people believe this.